It's time for the Jupiter Joe Money Show. I'm Jenny Thomas, and we have Jupiter Joe in the studios here. And we have a great show today. And for those just tuning in, this is a Jupiter Joe Money Show. We come to you each and every week. And Joe is a retirement and financial advisor here in South Florida for over 25 years.
Right.
So we're going to get into today's show.
What's the name of it, Jenny?
It is called Crunching the Numbers.
I called it off mic crunch and annuities.
I like
because
that.
really the numbers are okay, but we're going to crunch some annuities today. I want to talk about, normally we don't talk about rates, interest rates and what we're paying and that sort of thing, because I kind of like that when somebody comes in. I like to talk about that personally so we can find out what's going to fit their need before we talk about it, right? Because I don't want to get the client all excited about a bonus or the wrong account, the wrong annuity, and then they don't like it or it doesn't fit their specific needs. So, but today we're going to talk about the numbers, okay?
Perfect. So what do you want to start with?
Well, I want to talk about, I did some preparing for this show because I want it to be as understandable as it possibly can be for clients that are listening. I think goals for your money falls into three categories with what we do. Number one is fixed rates. Mm-hmm. And most people that buy a fixed rate annuity, let me just explain a fixed rate annuity. 3 years fixed, 5%. 5 years fixed, 5.25%. 7 years fixed, 5.5%, just to give you an idea. And the rates are going to fluctuate depending on when you purchase the annuity. But it's fixed, it's locked in, it's guaranteed, and it's safe. And most people buy it for the same reason they buy a CD at a bank. They want safety, they want a good rate of interest. So fixed rates.
A lot of the times we have clients who have a CD at the bank, mm-hmm. and it might be renewing, maybe in March or, a couple months ahead. And, you can lock in rates for a certain period of time.
Right. That's the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
See, that is the benefit. So we're going to get into why you would want to do a fixed annuity over, say, an indexed annuity, specifically because rates are going to come down. Mm-hmm. President Trump wants lower rates. Rates have already hedged down. They're going to hedge down more once Trump gets a new Fed chairman. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's getting rid of Jay Powell and, Jerome Powell, and he's going to get rid of him. And then the new guy's coming in and he's going to be geared to lowering rates. So whatever you're getting now, it's going to be lower. Okay. So number one, goals for your money, I would say falls into three categories: fixed rates for safety and locking in rates. Number two would be growth. And that's for somebody who wants to keep their money safe, but they want to build their money. They want to earn as much as they can. And number three would be an income annuity. That would be somebody that's going to need income anywhere from in the next 30 days, they want to start their income, or they want to take income in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and we can gear that specifically to your needs.
So it really depends on if you need income now or you need income later.
Correct.
Or maybe you just don't want to touch the principal of your money and you want to take that interest earned. You're still getting some money coming in.
Correct. So the big thing out there in the annuity world that we're in is bonuses. And we have every bonus there is out there. I mean, if you hear about a bonus and you say, hey, Joe, what about this bonus? We'll tell you if it's good or bad or indifferent or whether you should or should not invest in it. Now, all bonuses are not created equal. But we'll give you one that we're doing a lot of work with. Number one is a 15% bonus. This company is a great company, and what they do is they give you a 15% bonus up front in an indexed annuity. And it's geared to like the S&P 500, everybody's heard of that, or the NASDAQ, or whatever the index is. Some of them are proprietary, meaning only the insurance company has this specific index. A lot of people don't know that, but certain companies will have very good indexes that can do better than average ones. So it's a 15% bonus. So you put in 100,000, day one, you're starting with 115,000 plus for the year, the growth of that annuity, that index for the year. And you cannot lose money, Jenny. If the market goes down, you never lose your money and you never lose your bonus. Now let's talk about how you could lose your money. Disclosure. If you surrender it early, you'll have a surrender charge. Well, most people that we talk to, we're going to explain how that works. And most people don't want to touch their money. They want to leave it there for the rainy day. They want to leave it there for the future. The other big bonus that we deal with, and this one is specifically geared for somebody that wants income next year or later. You have to hold it for 12 months. And that's one of the conditions of this annuity. They're going to give you a 25% bucket boost on your money. But it's put in your income bucket, and you can't touch it unless you're going to take income. It's that simple. And then they give you 6.75% every year that you do not touch the account. So you're behooved to leave it there and grow and grow and grow. And then at some point in the future, take income from it. It's perfect for IRAs. It's perfect for 401ks. It's perfect for money that's sitting around doing nothing. Okay.
If you want to hear more from Jupiter Joe, go to jupiterjoe.com. You can book your free appointment and see us here in the office in Jupiter. And when you're talking about bonuses, we're crunching the bonuses today. And thinking about the 401k, where most of them are in mutual funds, they're in those target funds.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking the employer match, where it might be 3% or 5%, you're getting, it's kind of similar to that. Do you think like the 25% bonus, you're getting that bonus or that match kind of?
Yeah. And there's conditions to that too. I was telling somebody on the phone, they said to me, they asked me, actually it was my hair girl, Donna.
Yes.
She said to me, hey Joe, how does a 401k work? Because she has an opportunity to get a 401k with her job. And I said, this is what happens. Blah, blah, blah. She said, what about the matching stuff? And I said, well, in essence, the longer you stay there, they're going to match the money that you put in, and then you get it. But you have to stay there for a certain period of time. You have to be 21 years of age or older. You have to have maybe 3 years of service, 2 or 3 years of service, meaning you have to work there 2 or 3 years. They don't just give you the money. There are conditions and limitations and exclusions, just like there is with every financial product, not just annuities, right?
The vesting part.
The vesting part, right.
Vested.
You have to be vested, and you can't just take the money. It's going to be taxed. And we were talking about the options and like I had a guy the other day say to me, he says, you know what, I want to opt out of the retirement plan, the 401k. I said, I would never do that. I would never recommend to anybody. The best thing you can do is stay in your 401k and just reallocate the funds in a way that you're safer if you want more safety, or be more diverse. And I do not like target funds. These target dated funds, 2029 or 2930, whatever the date is, it's stupid because they're going to put you in some bonds. I always say to people, can you get a little bit pregnant? No. So it's the same thing. If you're going to be in the market and you're going to retire one day and you're in a 401k, be 100% vested in the market. Don't do a target fund. I think it's a waste of time, honest to God,
I think a lot of our clients who are going to be retiring, in the next few years or 1 or 2 years, they're carving out some of their 401k and opening this income annuity where they're getting that bonus now and they know it's safe there. It's not
at risk
to the market.
Yeah. And they can take income when they want.
Right.
After a year. It's not a bad deal to hold your money for a year anyway. In fact, a lot of people, I try to explain to them, if you're retiring now at 65, 67, 68, 69, you still may want to defer your money until you're 73 because that's the longest period of time you can defer your money. That means you're not paying tax on the money if you don't take the money. Now, if you retired and you don't have any other income, like you were talking about replacement income, if you don't have other income, then you're going to have to turn the income on. You have 2 ways to do it. Either you're going to call your plan administrator and figure it out. You're going to call the people who are managing your money and they're going to tell you whatever they tell you. Or you listen to somebody that's been doing this for years and years and they tell you that you can take an income stream for the rest of your life guaranteed. Oh, and guess what? If your wife or your husband passes away, they get the same amount you do. And if anything's left, it goes to your kids. Unless you have a pension, that does not happen with your 401k or IRA for that matter.
Interesting. So a lot of people, they don't know that.
Right. So going back to this bonus annuity, what it does is it gives you an incentive to invest in an annuity and it builds up your money a little bit faster. Now, annuities are not going to have the returns that you may see in the market directly investing in the market. If you're directly investing in stocks, which is the best way to have growth, you have bigger risk. When you have an annuity, you have less risk. Therefore, you may earn less, but you have the safety. And that's why people, the market is very challenging right now. I was looking at my numbers on some of my accounts, and they were really doing well the last couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden today, it's down significantly.
I saw.
Yeah. So, that's how it rolls right now. It's, the tariffs and is it this and is it that? It's always something that's going to bring the market down. And a lot of this stuff is done specifically so the big guys on Wall Street make more money, just so you know. When the market goes down, let me tell you something about the market. Do you know that investors make more money when the market goes down than when it goes up? Because when it goes down, they're able to buy the swings, the options to bet that it's going to go down. And they can actually make more money if it's going down than going up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, you got to know these things about money. It's just going to help you make more money.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. We come to you each and every week on Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m. And, this show, you started it a long time ago, over 15 years.
Right.
And we have a lot of listeners who even just call you having a question about their 401k, have a question about a 403b, a pension, what should I do about my money? I have credit card debt.
Yeah.
So give Jupiter Joe a call if you have questions, if you want a second opinion. It doesn't cost you anything. Go to jupiterjoe.com, book your free appointment, or give us a call here at the office. We answer the phone every single call.
That's true.
561-743-0999.
Let's talk about something with phone calls too. So when you do call, either Dana, Jenny, or Evan, or myself will answer the phone, and we're going to ask you a few questions just to kind of make sure that this is right for you. Not everybody is right to invest in an annuity. There are laws that we follow in the state of Florida called the suitability laws, and that means you have to be suitable to purchase an annuity in Florida, and you have to have, besides the money you're investing in an annuity, you have to have other assets to invest. These are not our rules. These are the rules that we have to adhere to. I had somebody on the phone today, and I told them, I said, look, I don't set the minimums. The insurance companies do. And our minimums are what the insurance company sets for us. Most of the minimums are $10,000 to $25,000. And some companies are more. It depends on the product. $25,000 is the minimum. But if you invest $25,000 with us in an annuity, you should have $25,000 on the side as an emergency fund. Just in retrospect, to say that this money is there for you, as an emergency. Talking about emergency funds, look, so let's talk about this. If you have money sitting in an emergency fund, quote unquote, for the emergency that never happens, it's time to consider doing something with it. Put it to work for you, especially if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s. Don't let money just go idle, sitting there doing nothing. These high yield savings account and checking account and CDs are going to the wayside. I was Googling numbers just to see what the rates are. 6-month CDs are like 1.5 now, 1.67 now. So our 2-year fixed rate is in the 5s. Our 5-year rate is in the 5.5 range we can find. In fact, we just found something for somebody who was 5.70, I think it was. We'll shop for you if that specific product is right for you. So don't have an emergency fund that sits there for the emergency that never happens. We'll put the money to work for you. Or you can put it in an index, get a 15% bonus day one for your growth account. Let's say you average 5% a year in that. That's going to do much better than any CD. And you can pull 10% free withdrawal out every 12 months. You could take your interest and live off it if you want to, okay? Just don't cash surrender it before the time that the contract is up. That's all. That's all you've got to do is follow the rules, and we're going to help you follow those rules, right?
Right. And talking about CDs at a bank, I actually looked up some of the bank incentives from the 60s, and we've talked about the toaster oven.
Yeah.
And some of the other ones were a waffle maker, a picnic basket, a camera, and even in the 2000s, you could choose a rifle or a shotgun.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Wow.
Or golf clubs, grandfather clock. So there's all these incentives.
Yeah, they used to give you this, when you went into a bank, and people used to literally go bank to bank to bank and not really care about the rate, just care about what the benefit, what they were going to get, the present, the freebie,
There's also a raffle for a brand new car or a pony, one of those Shetland ponies, the little mini ones. That's
in essence what we do with a bonus. The bonus annuity was it was created originally to help you offset charges if you were losing money moving from one annuity to another annuity. Then it became an incentive for clients to really say, hey, if I move my money over here, I'm making money instantly. Look, who's giving you a 15% bonus on $100,000 today? That's $15,000 in your pocket. This is a very big deal. If you do the income annuity, let's talk about those income annuity numbers, because if you guys don't think this is staggering, I mean, just look at this number. This is $500,000 putting in an age 65-year-old male or female. How much is the bonus? Does it show you there?
25%, which is, let's see, $625,000.
So you're making $125,000 in your income bucket. And in 2 years, if you wait 2 years, what's your income payout for life?
It's going to be almost $45,000.
So say $45,000 a year. And that's for you or your wife for the rest of your life. That's going to pay you out probably $1.3 million over until age 90 or 95 if you guys live that long together. And you could have it for 30 years, 40 years income. It's a very big deal. If you go to $1 million, what's the numbers like?
So if you have $1 million, you get $250,000 bonus. That's your bonus.
$250 bonus, right?
And it's $90,000 per year.
So let's talk about this. Where do you put $1 million today, and you're getting more than 9% interest? $90,000 a year, is $8,000 and change a month. Where are you making that? Nowhere. No, you can compare this to any investment out there. And I assure you, now look, if you're investing in the market and you're an investor, this is not a comparison for you because you're going to have fluctuations up or down and you accept the rewards and you accept the losses. With this is a win-win for you and your family. You know, people use these income annuities specifically to live their life. They don't want to sit around and do nothing. They don't want to grow old. They want to go have fun and enjoy life. Go to Vegas. You know how many times I've heard I want to go buy an RV? I'm going to buy an RV. I'm going to buy a boat. I'm going to travel and see the grandkids. We have a client right now we're working with. They're going to travel and see the grandkids. They have several kids around the country. That's what this is about. If you can put $50,000 to $90,000 a year extra besides your Social Security, besides what other investments you have, it's a very big deal, people. Okay. And we can help you get there. Who's giving you a 25% bonus? Now, some people say, oh, the bonus is too big. That doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. They're giving you future dollars that you can use in the future when you decide you want income. The only caveat is two main caveats. Number one, you must use the money for income. Well, if you have a 401k, guess what? You got to use the money for income. And number two, you must take income somewhere in the future. And number three, you're not taking that money out. It's going to stay there for you and your spouse, and any balance that's left goes to your family. Now, if you say to me, well, you know what, Joe, I want my kids to get the money. Well, then invest differently. You know, because this is going to give your kids some money, but I don't know how much, because this is geared for people who want income for their spouses themselves, right?
Yep.
Which is kind of more important than your kids in many respects. Now, if you want something specifically for your kids, we'll do an interest-only option. You'll never touch your principal, and that principal balance, whatever you put in, will always go to the kids. We can accomplish that for you. This is why I ask people, what is your goal for your money? Doesn't mean I want to make money. It means, where is the money going to end up? Who do you want to benefit? You, your spouse, your kids, somebody else. You know, Brian Craig was talking the other day about the income doubler. That income doubler is significant. And your bank, your broker, and your other advisors are not giving you a doubler where if you get sick, can't perform 2 of your daily activities, and you have a chronic illness of any sort, get a doctor's note, it doubles your income. So if you're getting $45,000 a year, it turns into $90,000. If you're getting $90,000 a year, it turns into $180,000. Who's giving you that? Nobody. I don't know, because I'll buy that one if it's out there. You know, this is the way it is.
Start with a copy of Jupiter Joe's book, The Retirement Know-It-All. You can go to jupiterjoe.com and request your free copy. And you can also watch us live on YouTube. So
That's right.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, the Jupiter Joe Money Show. You can find us there. You can find older shows that we've done and see what we're about here. You can see us in our office here at the Jupiter Joe Money Show.
That's right. I wrote down, you know, just to reiterate a couple things here, but more importantly, how do we help people? And I think it's a big deal to talk about how we help people. Number one, we take lump sums of money that people give us, whether it's an IRA, a 401k, a CD, any kind of money, and we turn it into income, period. Whether you want the income now or later, that's one way we can invest your money. Second way is we can take your money and we can put it away for growth. We were talking off mic before we did the show about a couple ideas we had, and we said, we want to talk about growth because indexed annuities are a big deal. You can be in an indexed annuity, share the growth up, but never have the money go down. That is an extremely important thing. So you can watch your money go up and it locks in, but you're never risking your future dollars or your future gains. So that's a good one. The other thing we do, which I think I'll say probably 90% of the people that come in want safety. Maybe it's 100%, but I'm going to say 90% because some people do want other things. But 90% of the clients that we're seeing want safety. They don't want to risk their money. They've worked hard for it. 30, 40 years you work in a company, Jenny. You want to keep your money. You don't want to risk it in the market, right? And the market's volatile. And listen, I have nothing wrong with the market. I like the market. I like being in it myself. But I'm willing to assume the risk, right? And you have to have the wherewithal to be able to absorb risks, meaning if the market goes down 10%, Microsoft, great stock. It went down 11, 12% today. Now, can you afford to do that? Some people can, some people can't, but you have to know if you can. So take advantage of what we're talking about here with these bonuses. By the way, We have annuities that don't have bonuses that do just as well, if not better. But we will show you in black and white why one may be better for you than another, right?
Yep. We'll crunch the numbers.
We'll crunch the numbers. We'll crunch the annuities for you, you know?
I found a quote. This is probably something people have already heard. Babe Ruth. I may take risks in life, but I will never risk my money. I use annuities and I never have to worry about my money.
I like that.
So, not worrying about your money, that's one of the biggest reasons
Yeah.
people want to get out of their 401k.
So unfortunately in life, you do go through times in your lives where you have to worry about money. When I was younger and, you guys were all young and going to college and high school and all that crap, and I was paying for car insurance and everything else and trying to put money aside, it's hard life, and you got to worry about your money. And I hated that feeling. The one thing I don't like in your mom as well, is a pit stomach ache. Where you get that pain in your stomach, you say, God, I just, and the unknown is so unbelievable. It's the worst feeling in the world. Well, I think that's what we do for a lot of clients. We take away the unknown and we show them the way. It sounds goofy, but let me tell you something. It's true. It's so funny when I show people exactly, you put in this amount of money, you put in $500,000, you're age 65, and in 2 years, you're going to get $45,000 a year on $500,000 for the rest of your life. And they go, wait a minute, stop. We're going to give you $500,000 and you're going to give us $45,000 a year for life. Yes. And by the way, if either one of you pass away, the money continues for life, as long as you live forever. And if there's anything left, if you guys prematurely die, 10, 12 years, whatever the number is, and there's money in the account, the balance is going to go to the kids.
See, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Now, your pension plan that you have at a company does not do that, just so you know. There's no balance to the kids. Sometimes people disinherit their wives or husbands, and they don't even know it, Jenny. So these are the things. When you deal with us, we're going to specifically talk to you about every angle there is. Now, you're never going to know everything about an annuity. Period. I don't care who you're talking to, unless they're an encyclopedia on annuities and they can get it through your brain. You're not going to know everything. I don't know everything about annuities. I probably know 90%, right? There's always something. I called the home office about something. I talked to an expert up there one time and he said, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And I said, I never knew that. He said, me either. I found out about this last year. There's a lot of stuff out there and nobody knows it all. That's why I wrote the book, Retirement Know-It-All, to try to understand as much as you can.
Well, I think also you have a resource, you have a team that does a lot of the work, for you.
Yeah.
So, 40 years.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. That's an important topic. I had a person recently who wanted me to change their beneficiary, or change their address, I think it was. And I said to them, look, the guy was kind of saying, you need to do this for me. And I said, I'll change your address, but I don't do that. I said, would you rather me changing your address or advising you on what investments to invest in and how to do better with what you have? He said, no, I want both. I said, well, we can do that, but I have a team that does that. That's why you guys get paid the big bucks. You're helping me do the things that I don't want to do and I don't specialize in. I specialize in talking to clients and advising them and helping them make the right decisions about their money.
Well, you always say getting from point A to point B.
That's it.
There was a tweet that Dave Ramsey said, and it's, if you have debt, the only time you should see the inside of a restaurant if you're working there.
I like that. Yeah, Dave Ramsey for years. I listened to Dave Ramsey when I first got down here 25 years ago when I moved down from North Carolina, New Jersey. I listened to Dave Ramsey almost every day because I was on the road a lot back then. And Dave Ramsey had some great things. He would say, if you really want to save money, eat rice and beans every night for dinner until it was coming out of your ears. And he was right in many respects. You have to know your limitations. You have to know, look, the yellow pad, get it out. Ben Franklin, the Ben Franklin is figure out the pros and figure out the cons and what's better for you, right? I have clients do that. We'll talk to clients and we'll say, look, this is how this product benefits you. And we'll give them all the pros. And I say, look, now let me talk about the cons. And I'll show them all the cons, if there are cons. And then people say, well, I understand that. And they make a decision based on as much information as we can provide to them.
Right. That's why I think it's so important to write it down and actually, like what you always say, the rose-colored glasses, you got to take those off.
Don't go through life with rose-colored glasses. If you want to, you can, but you're better off not. Now, let's just reiterate a couple things here. Number one, if you have some money sitting on the sidelines, you have a 401k that you're not happy with, you have a 401k you want to be safer with, you're retiring soon, maybe you have a CD or a high yield savings account that's not doing well, give us an opportunity to earn your business. Let us show you what we know about the money. Take a look at a bonus annuity. Why not give yourself a 15% bonus or a 25% bonus? Why not take advantage of money that's sitting in an account doing nothing? I mean, I hear people call me and say, oh no, I haven't earned money no, I get no interest on that money for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Take that money, put it to work for you. Let us show you how to make 5.5% to 7%, depending on what you want to do with the money. I mean, we have all kinds of programs. Take advantage of it. Let us show you what we know about this stuff. Crunch the annuities.
Crunch the numbers, crunch the annuities. If you'd like to talk to Jupiter Joe, give us a call, 561-743-0999, and you can go to jupiterjoe.com to book your free appointment.
Thank you for your time, folks.
Thanks for listening to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. We'll see you next time.